I matched Emily on Tinder 2 days later. A timestamped text and a bar photo put a man in an alley, and detectives were at my door. She made me her alibi when her boyfriend stabbed someone to death just a block away from the restaurant we were at. I matched Emily on Tinder weeks earlier. Her pictures were so warm, she shot a text over. We chatted about all sorts of silly things, like work, music, and seriously bad coffee. She mentioned she was a graphic designer. I told her I did accounting. Hold on a sec. We went to a chill Italian spot on a Friday night. The light above the table gave off a low hum. The waiter reeked of cheap cologne, stuff I recall. The date went well, it felt easy. We shared a bottle of wine. She went to the bathroom twice, and each time she came back, she was smiling. I figured she was just feeling a little nervous. Take another look. She walked me to my car after we finished eating. She gave me a hug and said she was really looking forward to our second date. I walked to my car. 2 days later, detectives were at my door. Wait a second, someone asked me where I was on Friday night. I already told them. They had pictures of my face from old news stories and a printout of texts between Emily and some guy. I still remember seeing the messages pop up, each one with a timestamp, as I sat right there across from her. She was sending coordinates and short updates. Now, there, the times actually lined up with the murder that happened just a block over in the alley. Listen, I gave them my phone, all my receipts, and whatever I could remember. The detectives told me my statement actually helped them with a case. They said my face in a bar photo helped place the man into custody. My face ended up in articles. Someone called. The restaurant used to be right there on that corner. Hold on a sec. Putting the small things together, it took days. The pictures on her profile looked nothing like the ones on her other accounts. I couldn't find anything with that name. I looked at my messages. Funny little thoughts I hadn't considered just came to mind. She went to the bathroom 2 times, twice. To text the guy, or perhaps to send those coordinates. Perhaps not. I was just too tired to give a damn. It's time to try again. They showed me maps of where the phone had been, my timeline, her texts, the murder. They all just lined up, one after another, like numbers in a row. Numbers now shout. The fella walked into the alley. Someone got arrested because of some talk and a phone. The police mentioned she assisted them in locating him. They used what I remembered as proof. They asked me to speak about what happened. Wait a minute. Folks gave me a ring. Reporters always have a way of digging up the truth, no matter what. A neighbor once popped their head in and asked, "You were there, right?" "Yeah," I mumbled, nodding my head. My friends really tried to help me out. Someone actually said, "Blocker." He said it like it was a joke. I just couldn't laugh. Flash. I basically hit replay on everything. The bathroom trips, her laughter, the way she held the fork was just off. Little things ended up being what helped us figure it out. I looked over the receipt and then put it away. It might have been dumb, but it truly felt like I was holding a piece of the truth. I looked her up. Then I found a fake account with similar photos. Someone snagged pics from another lady's Instagram. Make sure to double check. The defense argued at trial that the texts might not be real, suggesting they could have been faked. The prosecution thought it was all a little too perfect. The timestamps and phone pings lined up just so. Someone got convicted. The court papers claimed I was involved in putting him there that night. After going through the verdict, I experienced a really weird mix of feelings. There was this sense of relief, that justice was served and someone actually faced consequences. But then right alongside it came this feeling of guilt, knowing I was just a pawn in their game. Listen again. I couldn't get the bathrooms out of my head. It's a good question. Sometimes things just need a second look or a second try. Why would I smile and come back like nothing happened? I pictured her typing with one hand, a glass of wine in the other, sending coordinates. I imagined the other man, reading something and then just strolling right into the alley. Hold on a second. After the conviction, reporters started calling less often. The waiter still worked the same shifts. I really try to stay away from that street if I can help it. Little noises at night make me jump. My cat just knocked over a glass, and my first instinct was to check the timestamp on my phone, like it'd somehow tell me how to react. Let's get back to it. Sometimes I just imagine her looking at me and I'm practically invisible, just a means to an end, a safe spot for her to be while she got her message out. Perhaps she just wanted to see a regular face looking back at her, a sign that someone actually noticed her. Maybe she was figuring things out. Hang on, I've got the receipt, all crinkled up right there with the batteries and that charger that's seen better days. I'm still looking at all the old messages. I still look at timestamps. Quiet numbers found their voice. Last but not least, the worst part isn't that a man died. The hardest thing was just how simple it was for me to be taken advantage of. She gave a little smile. There was a wine glass. She had to go to the bathroom twice, and they exchanged a few texts. So much life just tucked into a handful of quick messages. You'll never look at Tinder the same way. I really couldn't tell you why she smiled so easily. I'm having trouble sleeping. I just count down the minutes on my phone so I can finally stop thinking. The restaurant's still right there, on that corner with its light humming. Sometimes I'll walk past the alley at night, just look into it, and really feel how those little choices we make can just become part of something much bigger. Keep an eye out for the little stuff. They get bigger. I woke up tied to a chair in a basement 2 nights after I matched with Vanessa on Tinder. We'd been texting for about a week. Her photos were bright and full of festivals. She was really into listening to true crime podcasts. She asked me if I wanted to come over and watch Netflix. I thought it was fine. Hold on a sec. She hugged me at the door and poured wine. Her place had tons of plants and a big lamp. We just put on a movie. Halfway through, she just blurred out, "Livestream this." Cute, right? I ended up saying okay. It just felt so small and silly. Wait a minute, folks started talking a lot. People watching said hi, made some jokes, and then started asking me about my job and the stuff I like to do for fun. Vanessa kept glancing at the chat, then stepping out. I actually figured she was a bit on edge. I didn't realize she was watching the phone. Let's get back to what we were working on. The wine tasted fine. The movie kept stopping and starting, making it really hard to watch. My head throbbed, and then a blast of cold air hit me. I woke up in a gray basement. My wrists were raw. The chair just scraped. Hang on. Vanessa was looking over my shoulder with a tablet. She scrolled, reading through the bids. She also mentioned that viewers actually paid to vote on challenges for the date. She talked business just like that. Her face was calm. Okay, hold on a sec. I found some tiny lenses later. One of those is in a smoke detector. One was tucked away in a pot. I saw that chat log. It had names and numbers next to everything people did. Someone actually wrote, "Spike him." So how does it all wrap up? I had a lump in my throat. Re-hook. They hit me with rules like I was supposed to follow a script. Someone filmed my drink. I coughed, and it left a nasty taste in my mouth. My jaw ached from clenching the rope so hard. I listened for steps. When Vanessa opened the door, I took my chance. I slipped past her, got to the window, and just smashed it with my shoe. I sliced my palm on some glass. The rain hit my face. I took off running. You better hold on a sec. Investigators tracked some digital paths back to servers that couldn't be easily identified. The video got around fast and sold quickly. The officers mentioned that the dark site had a lot of people wanting to buy things there. A few IP addresses popped up, then disappeared. Copies were everywhere. That fact felt worse than the ropes. When I got out, everything kind of slowed down, and then it got really fast, which was weird. My friends had some fitting things to say. Some folks just quit texting. My hands shook, and I couldn't go to work for a few nights. My shirt got bleached because I was trying to de-stink it, and the cat disappeared for a whole day. The police got statements and mentioned they'd attempt to find the buyers. They got the job done. The legal stuff was a real slog. It just crept along. The clips just kept popping up. It was like I was in a ghost argument online. Wait a sec. Folks asked me why I ventured out by myself. I wondered why I hadn't noticed any signs. You could see it in little things. How she'd always check comments, or the plant that was always a bit tilted. Ugh, I really should have just left when I had the chance. Get back to it. Therapy really helped sort some stuff out. I always have a light on when I sleep. I scan rooms now. I glance up at the smoke detectors. I really can't stand pots. I snap pictures of corners and then look at them later to see if there are any weird dots. Okay, everyone, take a moment. Old accounts are sending messages that just say nice stream. They really do just disappear. The video just popped up and then it was gone. It just keeps popping up everywhere I go online, like a shadow. Last but not least. So, if a first date asks to go live, just say no. Look, if you get that strange feeling that you're being watched in a room, just go with your gut. I still jump a little when I see a camera light blinking. I'm still looking at a tablet and it shows a list with a number next to the word ending. That image just keeps playing over and over in my head, you know? I have no idea how many people actually saw it. I'm not sure if Vanessa left. I don't know what it is, but I just can't sit on a couch and chat with someone new without first glancing at the ceiling and the plant. The woman I let crash on my couch used my address to open accounts and left me with bills. Tyler Monroe here, from Akron, Ohio. The whole thing began when we matched on a dating app, and she asked if she could crash at my place for a night since she'd missed her train. She messaged politely, worked nights, and in photos, she just looked tired. I just figured she was harmless, so I agreed. Hold on. One night just kind of rolled into two. She left her jeans on my couch, and get this, she even used my toothbrush. Then she told me her boxes were all at her brother's place. She never asked for money outright, but then she'd totally forget to pay her share when we went shopping. I just told myself I was helping. Hold up. Then I started getting calls from people I didn't know, all asking if she was staying at my place. She laughed and said it was all just gossip. My landlord sent an email saying packages in the lobby had her name on them. I saw boxes piled up by the door. I checked her bag and there was this receipt for a storage unit with my apartment number on it. Wait again. The phone just wouldn't stop ringing. Folks were asking neighbors if she stayed with me, and one time, a delivery service even left a slip for her right at my door. And then, out of nowhere, I started seeing late fees pop up on my credit report for accounts I never even had. I talked to her about it and she started crying, then said she'd go. I changed the locks and chucked all her stuff out later that same night. It didn't end. Weeks later, I opened my mail and there they were. Copies of utility bills, all forwarded to my address but with her name on them. She used my place for mail, like a forwarding address, for 3 different accounts. The bank called and said, my credit was kind of bruised. Hold on. I filled out reports, printed out the receipts, and then I just waited. The police were nice enough, but they took forever, and the bank really dragged its feet looking into the identity theft. The landlord said sorry. Now I check every package and every name. I keep my receipts in a folder, and I always lock the door twice. I burn old mail in the sink like a small ritual. Last but not least, you know, just a couch, a toothbrush, a friendly face. These little things can really help someone settle in and forget about old debts. You really gotta watch who you let into your life. I keep reliving those nights. Sometimes I look at the toothbrush in my bathroom and really think about how far ahead she thought things through. I remember watching her laugh on my couch and how she kept checking her phone. My friends keep telling me to move on. They say folks are messy. But it wasn't messy. That was spot on. She got ahead using normal stuff like a ladder, crashing at a friend's one night, doing someone a favor, or conveniently forgetting a bag somewhere. I scan anyone who sits on my sofa. Okay, so I always check IDs, and before I do anything, I kind of run a quick search on their history in my head. I also make sure my mail is hidden, and I actually keep a list of everyone who comes knocking. My cat wakes me up at night, and I find myself staring down the hall like a guard. Sometimes a neighbor would ask, "Hey, did you happen to see her?" She left.